11th show, and let's keep talking about that. So, we have, it's going to be a Sandy relief show, as we mentioned before, and the listeners probably don't know because I don't think we went over it yet, but you're going to do gift cards, personally hand out gift cards, correct?
Well, that's what the goal is. The goal is to make 700 $100 gift cards to Home Depot. And Home Depot's giving us a little bit of a break in the purchasing of the cards. And we're going to go to various churches and synagogues in the area. We're already working on it and finding out who basically isn't being backed by FEMA yet, who's waiting for money, who's suffering the worst, who has everybody forgotten. And we're going to go knock on these doors to these people. And I don't know if we're going to give them 1 card, 5 cards, or 10 cards. But depending on the situation, we'll be giving money, be giving cards to these people. And it really isn't going to solve the situation or anything. But what it's going to do, it's going to at least show people that we care and we think about them and we really do love them. We would do more if we could, but it's just us reaching out. I think they'll appreciate that.
It's really fantastic. I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay.
We allied with an organization, Under My Skin, and they're an incredible organization, all nonprofit. They do great things 24/7, 365. And they were kind enough to offer to work this with us and get us the list from the different townships and sectors and churches and let us be able to get right in front of the people who really are so in need of somebody to say, here, we still are thinking about you.
Right.
Too many people have forgotten.
I was actually going to ask how you were going to go about finding all these people, but no, that's awesome that people, like I said before, with the bands, how everybody wanted a piece of it. It seems that, everybody outside of the metal community wants a piece of it as well. And that's what's making this show huge.
Well, if they can't make it to the show, they still want to make a donation, they can contact Tony Rodriguez at Under My Skin for Life, and that's the charity organization. And they can make a donation directly to him, and it'll go to where it needs to go.
Is there a website or anything they could go to, or if they just Google that, it'll come up?
Yeah, if you Google Under My Skin for Life, it'll come right up.
And one of the nice things, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but none of the money is going into fees or into the organization. It's going 100% to the people. That's what we wanted, that there's no money being held back like some of the other shows that have gone on, and people are wondering where the money is. We're going directly to the people right after the show.
You're going to go that night?
Yeah, that night.
You're not going to be tired?
I'm going to wear my raincoat and take my flashlight and go out there. No, that's true.
It's not raining, you're going to
2:30 in the morning, TT Quick and me. And Twisted Sister coming out at 4.
Are they coming?
At 4 o'clock.
Sounds good.
And Dave from TT Quick, how cool is it that a bunch of heavy metal people are going to be getting together to donate money to churches for Sandy Relief?
That's what I think is awesome, too. I was mentioning before, I know Chris and Patty were at the Street Patrol show that I did that was like a Sandy Relief and all that stuff. And it's just awesome to see how many different metal shows there are. Like, just metal alone is doing so much to benefit the Sandy victims, and I think that's awesome. Metal gets such a negative connotation towards it, and here we are doing all this good.
Absolutely. Also, we want to remind everybody out there that when they come down to the show, please, non-perishable food items, because on top of taking care of these people, we also want to offer up a good serving for the food banks of the area. Those are just the places that are the heart and soul of keeping these people fed and clothed and feeling warm and fuzzy.
We'll have vans there that night to take the food right out.
Yeah. Everything, like I said, the whole show happened quickly, and now everything, it's not going to be no waiting for this money, no waiting for the food. It's all
because Marsha and I have to be in Florida June 1st. It's all got to be over.
You're on a time limit, right?
I'm on a time limit.
Well, I thought it was... So when somebody gets buzzed up, that's what happens. Everybody thinks there's like a fire or something. But yeah, Dylan, you could buzz them up. So yeah, this whole show, like I said, it came together so quick. So what made you guys, settle down and say, this is what's going to happen, and get everything organized, because everything was kind of just thrown at you.
It just happened, right?
Everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
I never met Chris in my life.
One job led to another, and by the time we turned around, we had a flag of stars to.
John called Ray, Ray called me, John called me,
I
called Ray.
I called Metal Joe. Metal Joe called Ray.
So it all went
Yeah,
around
you know
in
what?
circles.
It just comes down to just a bunch of brothers that love metal, and that's what the militia was all about at the time. It was just a group of guys that we just loved the music, and what's cool about this show, us guys, it didn't just start in '81. We got together probably when we were 16 years old, going down to Edmonton. And a matter of fact, this whole thing is a big go around because we used to go see Twisted Sister playing every week.
Right.
And they're going to be at this thing. And then TT Quick was another thing every week. I mean, that was the thing with the clubs at that time. And then the concerts started, and then we had bands coming in with the new wave of British heavy metal where we were going to have Raven at this, and we're going to have Anvil. And the Rods were a kick-ass band at the time.
So all of the kind of bands that you picked were the ones that you held close to your heart because you saw them so much in Jersey? Is that kind of how?
Yeah, it is.
And they were also the ones that when John and I first started doing any promotion with the old militia, you know, Anvil was our first Friday the 13th rock show, and then we did Raven. We brought Raven in for the Halloween Headbangers Ball, and so these were our root bands. They were willing to come and play for us and for our people. And how could we take a step back into that world without them?
And talking about taking a step back, this is a mighty step back into the early 80s. You know, these bands that are playing are bands that are still fantastic and super, super talented. And it's going to create a heat and a sweat and a feeling that only was experienced in the 80s when you saw steam rising off the flesh of the guys playing on stage. You know, that's what we're going to have on May 11th.
Yeah, we got the bands that are coming down. They are, you know, they've been playing a long time, but man, they're hungry to do this show.
Oh yeah.
The lineup, if you look at it, it looks like something out of England. You know, one of the old festivals at the Castle Donington or something like that. You
One
know?
of those festivals that should be here. But
Yes,
never
that never happened. So I mean, the tri-state area, we want to see people we used to hang out with down at Lemore's, down at all the clubs over the years. You know, want to bring out the brotherhood of metal that we had back then. And what's great about this, we're giving it at the same time. We're giving it to people that are in need, and that was what the militia was all about years ago, also.
Now, I know you guys have brought up Metallica and all bands like that. Do you think that people aren't gonna be upset or anything? That they're like, oh, what about Metallica?
Well, Metallica are in
What do they want for
Africa.
$30? Come on.
That's true too.
Your Metallica, we'd have to charge $35.
There are any number of other bands we would have loved to have incorporated into this. Unfortunately, the touring schedules, because it's the spring, summer, became impossible. But they're all standing up there cheering for us. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Were there any other bands that tried to get in touch with you, but you kind of just said, you know?
We'll keep them nameless now because
No
we
comment.
may keep them for another round if this works out the way we think.
So you,
We are trying to get some donations from some of the old bands we knew of, guitars or whatever we could raffle off, and anything we can get
That's
to
true.
make some more money for these
Yeah.
people.
Slayer's giving us an autographed Tom Araya bass. Yeah.
And we also reached out to a few of the other bands, so we're hoping and praying they're going to come back
through.
and give us, like we came through for them.
Yeah, my friend Joe Langlos, he donated a BC Rich guitar that we're going to have all the bands signed that's playing that evening, and we're going to raffle that off at the end of the night.
so there's going to be a bunch of different prizes and stuff too?
At least two though. At least two that
Couple
we
of
know of.
raffles.
At the show then, other than, like, you know, the couple of raffles and prizes, is there anything else that's going to be going on during the show?
We may raffle off my dog. I can't stand them.
He's a good dog.
We have a bunch of the guys with Ed Trunk that'll be coming up. Jim Florentine's been kind enough to offer his services.
Don
And
Jameson.
Don Jameson. And
And also the old militia, and I'm going to drag them up on the stage too, to show everybody who's still around and a little celebration of life, like I said.
oh,
All right, let's get back into the music, and we will be back shortly. Here's Under the Blade by Twisted Sister.
All right.